Hilarious Club.
The podcast.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is our 5th episode and you can see I'm with a very gorgeous lady who just got married. She's one of my best friends and she's the person that I know that hustles the most.
What?
That's not true.
What? I believe it, but wait a second. This is a surprise for me. You're married? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah, I mean, like, okay.
Yeah, she just got married.
Yeah.
I just got
newlywed.
married.
Yeah.
Wow. We got a lot to talk about. That's amazing.
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, wait, we can't? Okay.
Oh, yeah, we can.
She
Sure.
said-
You should see the wedding photos. So she did the Nigerian
Traditional
traditional
wedding.
wedding.
Oh, you've already had the ceremony.
Yeah, like this summer,
Okay, where?
Nigeria. I
And
traveled
that,
back.
okay, all right.
Traveled back.
So you went back home.
Yeah, I can get married in China.
Oh, I don't know what's going. I don't know. Zero.
It can get. It's not the same.
It's not
Literally,
the
the
same.
vibes.
The vibe is different.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what we started, right? Okay, can you tell us
Yeah.
what the vibe is?
What's Nigerian wedding
Yeah,
like?
Yeah.
a Nigerian wedding is
We can
is
have
big.
a clip later.
Yeah, it's big.
It's big.
Wait,
and
what's
you know-
what's like how many like what big as in like the space is big or people?
people's the space, people, and yeah. So and okay, my husband is like the first, like he's the first son, he's the first child. So he's like the first person in his nuclear family to get married. So it was even way bigger for his family.
Oh.
Me, on my side, I'm like the third.
Wait, is
to
he
get married.
Nigerian?
He's also Nigerian.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I don't know.
yeah, he's also Nigerian.
I'm not making any
Yeah,
assumptions.
we-
Your husband could be
we-
Chinese. What is it? Why does it look like that? We audience of Chinese people. You see the face? Why are you laughing?
He could be, but he's not.
What are you trying to say? I'm just fucking funny.
Well,
I'm
the
just
thing is
messing.
that I was already dating him before I came to China.
Which was when?
Like since we went to the same uni. For like we have known each other for like 9 years.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
from
great.
like literally from high school.
Oh my God, that's like
uni,
the
so
picture
just-
perfect. Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
And then I came here 2019. That was when like I was done with uni. I came here,
Oh, that's it.
and then we did long distance for 4 years. You know, because of COVID, I was supposed to like come 2019, probably summertime 2020, go back.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
then
all those
COVID
things.
happened.
Yeah.
COVID, and then we 2020, 2021, 2022.
2023, you guys are not in the same
So
space.
yeah, so March
He was still there,
he was still there.
and you came here. Why? If I may?
I came study.
To study.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So March, my brother was getting married, so I felt like it was a good time to travel back home, and I didn't tell anybody.
Anyone here? Oh, anyone
home.
back home? Oh,
Yeah.
did you film it?
So I planned the trip, and then I traveled back home to surprise them,
Yeah.
and it was epic. He cried.
Oh, I bet.
He cried. Like literally, my family, like everybody, they were like for 4 years, they have not seen me. And then we also like my brother's wedding. I just stayed for like 8 days,
Yeah.
and then I came back. So, but when I traveled back that time, we did like a court wedding, like the legal marriage. We just did like court wedding.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
got it.
Got married legally, like, and then I came back. So we now started saying maybe summer, like the wedding, she'll have time to plan for the wedding.
Yeah.
So summer, we were planning for the wedding, and then we fixed the day. The traditional wedding was on a Thursday, 27th, and the white wedding was on Saturday.
So traditional wedding. I guess I don't want to make any assumptions. So you said traditional wedding was on one day, then the white wedding, is that what you
Yeah,
said?
traditional wedding was on Thursday.
Yeah.
And the white wedding was on Saturday.
So what's the difference between those two?
So traditional wedding,
Yeah.
like, okay, like you have like, for me, I did like 4 outfits.
Oh my God.
So the first outfit, like you greet the guests, you greet your guests, you change.
Right.
This, the first outfit is not really just taking pictures, like your robe, all those
Okay,
things.
okay.
And then the second outfit, greeting your guests. Third outfit. So there's this culture, like you put like apples or like eggs in a basket.
Oh wow.
then
This
you
is
take
so
it
different. Yeah.
to the audience, to the guest, and
Yeah.
then you sell. Like you literally,
Sell?
yeah. So you
That's
just
how
come.
Nigerians work. They make money out of their own wedding.
I'm sorry, Nigerian people
No,
are
like
some of
it's
the
just fun.
smartest people.
So you just take it like come to this table. Like
Yeah.
people are just taking the eggs, dropping money.
And dropping
from-
money
Yeah,
in exchange.
like,
That's pretty cool.
Just take the egg. Like it's just.
It's just
fun.
tradition.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
yeah.
And then the last part is like the main outfit this time. So you go to your father or like if you don't, the elder, like
Yeah.
anybody that represents the
Yeah.
elder. For me,
Yeah.
I go to, so it was my brother because my dad is late. So I go to him, he gives me like wine or like there's this drink, a traditional drink. He pours it in a cup and then
Traditional drink that's like wine.
it's palm wine. It's
Oh,
called
yeah.
palm wine.
That's so
It comes from the tree. So good. I could have actually got for you. I'm very sure if you take it, you'll be like, oh, alhamdulillah. It's really, really good.
That's great.
So he like, I go to my brother, he gives me the wine.
Yeah.
And then I take it, I look for my husband.
Yes.
So
You have to look for him.
yeah. I look
After
for him.
getting
So
drunk?
no, I'm not drunk. Like I just take it in the cup, I cover it.
Oh.
So he's basically like
What
in the
time
crowd.
of day is this, by the way?
This was like evening, like
So you
we
start
started
in the
around like
morning.
3,
2,
3
in
yeah.
the morning?
Yeah. No.
No, in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's like
so-
around. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So then he's somewhere in the crowd with his friends. So you're just looking. People are just telling you, bring the wine. Like they're just trying to patronize you, like the other guys. Like
Yeah.
because I feel that part is you are literally showing us who your husband is. Like not that they don't know, but then
Yeah.
again, just show us. So
I
if
see.
you take it to another person, that means you're saying that this person is your husband. So that's why some guys will be like, bring it. They'll flaunt cash. They'll show you, come, I can take
Yo,
it.
I like this. Is interesting.
So you just play around. You can just do as if you're going to the, like I'm coming to you, and then
Right.
I'll move to. Then I find him. Then I kneel down and I give him the drink, and then he drinks from it, and then we now together.
He drinks the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I take a.
You take a sip and then you give it to him and then he drinks the rest?
Yeah.
Or a little bit?
Yeah. The rest.
Oh.
If you want to finish it, fine. If you don't want it, it's fine.
Okay.
And then we now go to, what's it called? Then together we walk to my brother, to our parents.
Yeah, the parents or, or your
so
brother.
they pray for
yeah.
us, and then also walk to his parents. They pray for us, and then we dance.
Yes.
We dance, and then by that time, like people are already like eating because people like we make food like different varieties.
Yeah.
So people we dance.
Is it all in one bit or you move to another space to dance?
So the decor is like the arrangement should be like maybe the chairs, depending on the type of arrangement that you want.
Yeah.
But like we had like a space
Yeah.
in front, in front, and then people were sitting at this other side. People were sitting at this other side.
Yeah.
Then there was also an aisle in the middle.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
where people would walk from.
Yeah.
So, after you drank that wine, what poison did you put it?
Why should I put?
This guy.
Why are you trying to? Yeah.
I've trapped him a long time ago.
Yeah.
There's no need to trap him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. So how long is the dancing part? That's one of my favorite
like
parts.
dance.
Like for like
dance.
hours.
Like literally. Maybe say Nigeria, like we have good music and
You
people
do.
like they go hard when it comes to party.
Yeah.
So till you're tired, like maybe people are leaving. Yeah.
Is it like when people are leaving? It's around like
Yeah, like I think maybe we left there around 9.
9 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, so people are so it's like 2
From
to
2.
like in the afternoon to like 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, because weddings I've realized I haven't attended a lot. I come from a very broken home. So I saw some in the States and then I've seen more Chinese weddings or whatever. And those start early. And they are in noon for lunch and then people leave around 3. So that's what I was asking. I didn't want to assume.
I understand like some
Yeah.
people leave and no, Nigerian is the whole guest that call, like any guest that you invite, they are being carried along. So even for like the white wedding, from church wedding, like
So when you say white wedding, you mean like a Christian church wedding?
Church wedding,
all right,
yeah,
got
the
it,
white
got it,
wedding.
got it.
So I also went to the church.
Yeah.
After the church, like the joining and
Yeah.
after joining, we now went to the reception venue.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the other events also start, like mostly dancing.
Yeah.
And, other games. The shoe game.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was really nice. Maybe I'll find a clip, like a short clip,
Yeah.
and then you can
I
watch.
would love to
just-
see it. It's a really cool occasion. It's a ceremony. I think
Yeah.
the union of families, I think, is something I think is so important.
It's very vital. Like sometimes we actually feel that we spend a lot of money when it comes to weddings in Nigeria. It's not necessary. Even funerals, we also spend a lot of money.
Really?
Yes. Like we saw like uniforms. The family, they make dresses. They invite.
make
cook,
dresses?
Yeah. They cook for people that are coming for yeah. Even though people are crying, people will still eat.
Yes, I know.
And drink.
And when I know that weddings, at least I really don't know. At least from what I mean, and also funerals, we spend a lot of money. I don't think it's as much as a wedding, but sometimes you can, when you take out a life insurance plan, it's typically when someone passes, you need on average I think 15 to 17,000 to pay for a whole funeral. I've been told. And like it's people dress up and there's food. Maybe you don't cook it yourself, but it's certainly a whole very expensive affair. But I don't know anything about
in Nigeria. It's so, like I actually feel that it's really dramatic, and for the funeral part especially, I feel like it's dramatic. There's no point in that. Like, do you have to make dresses?
Making dresses
Like
seems
you
like
have
a
to
lot.
wear, yeah.
Because you could
like
just buy
maybe in China, I think they wear black or white for funeral.
They wear a white robe, which is cheap.
I've heard that like in here, like when people die, you have to go somewhere and then cry for a lot, and then like to the point where it's hard to cry more. Like
And then you hire other people to cry for you.
I don't know about that part,
Yes.
but I know that
Hire
like
people
Some people do that.
I've heard that like if
to help you cry.
Yeah, to make a scene. So that's why the Chinese funerals are very different from the Western ones that I watch on the movie. They like make a PowerPoint, and then and then they make jokes out of the person that died.
Yeah, funny memories or memories of
and
that person.
everybody is composed.
Yeah.
All right, but here it's completely different. Here you need to look chaotic,
And
messy, and like you
I heard
cannot
from
put
a
yourself
friend.
together.
I heard it from a
Yeah.
friend that like they had to stand outside of the door and like cry, but he couldn't cry. He was just like he wasn't part of the family. He was married into the family, so he had to like pretend to cry, and it was weird.
It
was weird.
it's weird. Like it's here, the culture is like you're supposed to show your sadness, and then sometimes you when you don't feel very sad, you have to fake your sadness. Yeah, I mean, but I think nowadays the concept
It's
of
changing.
missing like the deceased has changed. Like especially
has,
if the
okay.
person has lived a full long life,
Yeah.
it's a
So,
celebration.
Like
Yeah.
my husband's cousin, they buried their grandma on Friday last week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You wouldn't think it's a funeral. It was lit. They
Really?
were spraying money.
What?
Spraying money.
Spraying
Like the woman
money.
actually lived.
Is that new? That's a new custom.
No, I even forgot. There's this custom of like spraying money,
Oh,
like
okay.
weddings.
Yo, that's pretty dope.
You
I
have
love
to
it.
spray money.
I
Like
love
people
it.
legit have to, like, especially like people that like love to show off. Like, if you have money, you love to. So rather than them giving you the money, if they're giving you
the
money,
hung pound.
or like maybe giving you home pound,
Yeah.
nobody's seeing it.
Yeah.
Nobody will see it. So if you give me, like, let me say you send me an home bill for like 1,000, like other people, like she doesn't know definitely, like, but then again when you come to a wedding and event, like you have the bundles like this, and you're doing
You
like,
just like it looks pretty dope.
and then maybe the musician is just hailing you, calling you names. Oh my god! You
It's
can
like
even go
pretty
to
lit.
the musician.
Yeah.
Like so, the funeral, like they were spraying money, was lit.
Wow.
So because the woman actually lived, like she lived a long life and a good life as well.
Yeah.
That's what people said. So, but some, like, if probably someone that died way younger, maybe 40 or 50, I feel like there's no point to be very dramatic about it. Like sometimes you can even see like the person just died, maybe the father of the family died, they're already fighting for his inheritance. At the funeral,
Word?
the kids are
You're
fighting.
kidding me.
I'm telling you.
That's
Some
real.
funerals can be so chaotic.
Wow.
The kids are already fighting for, like, if the man probably has a lot of property.
I mean, I don't know if but that happened in our family. Like my aunt's mother, like the people Arabian mother, she passed, and like she has 3 daughters, and they were like, they're not cool anymore because like it didn't work out because of the inheritance thing.
Yeah, like I remember this one, like my dad's stepbrother got married to, like the family that he got married from, the lady's family, the man had a lot of money, and he also had like 3 wives. So when he died,
people were like,
it was so bad that one of the kids in the man's corpse, like coffin, one of the kids like put this, I think like this material, like a clothes, like inside the coffin. When they were about to leave, like put the man down.
He put something in the coffin?
Like something like an attire, like let me say the way they have Chinese chipao. Yeah, they have like the African.
Sure.
Yeah. So just like, my dad, something like that, farewell with him.
Oh, I see.
So one of the other woman's kids saw when she did that. Do you know, as they were putting the man down, like in the grave,
he jumped in and
Are
you kidding me?
He jumped in.
He jumped in and like he took that thing out and then put his own thing in?
Hit the coffin.
Why? Because that's wild.
Yeah, but he didn't want to put anything. He just put it out.
He just took out the other motherfuckers. It's
like why?
No, you don't.
Are you trying to show you're the one that? No.
That's crazy.
Like so, it's
wow.
So it can be so kind, like people already fighting. They fight for food, fight for drinks. You think that they came to cry? Nope.
Wow. Yeah. Everyone's thinking about like the gap that needs to be filled in terms of who's taking the money.
Yeah, and then if this person did not write a will, it's even worse.
Of course. It's always worse if you know they wrote a will.
It's even worse because, like, automatically everybody they become enemies, like sworn enemies. That's why they always say that polygamy is not the best solution. Like,
wait a second, is this? I'm gonna sound really ignorant here.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, but so when you say they always say polygamy is because I come from a world where that's already illegal, but like you're saying that that's still legal. No, it's
for
not.
like Muslims. Like Muslims, polygamy is
it's
legal.
still legal in Islam. Faith.
Yeah. So, and like Nigeria has like, Muslim, like the Christianity, but then again, some people feel like African tradition is like polygamy is fine.
Oh, okay.
Like even if you're not a Muslim.
Yes.
You know Akon?
Yeah, I know Akon.
Akon, the singer.
Yeah. Akon. I think
he's so popular.
Is he Nigerian?
I think he's certain African.
Senegalese.
I don't think. I don't know.
He's open about it.
Yeah. So
sorry to interrupt. So just so I can understand, because I really want to sound like politically correct person. So you've got African traditions, or at least Nigerian traditions, and then you've got Islam, and then you've got Christianity, and people might be a mixture of all of this.
So I feel like for a place like Nigeria, like they have the culture, the tribes, and then the religion. So when it comes to tribe, they have like the Igbo culture, Yoruba tribe, and the Hausa tribe.
Right.
So more of the Hausa tribe, they are more of the like Muslims.
Right.
They're from the north.
They're not. They're not.
Yeah, and then like the Igbo like tribe.
Yeah.
We are more Christians, like
they're more Christian.
Yeah, Christian, and also the Western, like the Yorubas, they are mixed, Muslims and Christians. So like there, you can see people like a Christian getting married to a Muslim.
Oh,
it's very normal.
It's very normal. Okay.
There for like the Yoruba tribe, the western part of Nigeria, but like the eastern part of Nigeria, you hardly see people like maybe a Christian getting married to a Muslim.
It doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
Because it's maybe connected to the...
Like they feel, no. But then, I feel like the African tradition comes from those days. Like our forefathers used to get married, like have a lot of wives. So for example, my grandfather had like 4 wives.
Yeah, so that's literally just 2 generations ago. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So he had like 4 wives.
Yeah.
And he had like a lot of property.
How does it affect your family now? And how does it affect your view on it? Obviously,
Obviously, I
Or against
wasn't
it, maybe.
personally. It wasn't. It didn't affect me personally.
Right.
But then, from the stories I heard, he had the first one. I think she just had like one child, and then the second one had no child. The third one, I think, also no child. Yeah. The first one had one child. The second didn't have. The third, I think, was my grandmother.
Yeah.
Had like 6.
Oh.
And then the last one, I think, had like 2. So we would say for someone that got married to like 4 wives, he didn't have a lot of kids.
Right.
So
even though that's a lot of kids, but it's not a lot of kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you can see like 20 something. 20, 25. Like at least one woman is giving back to like 6, 7, 8.
Wow.
Yeah,
On
you need-
average.
so that the more
need a
kids you
lot of
have,
money.
you need army. You need the army to get your man's property.
Oh yeah, but I also that has something to do with the fact that you guys really own properties.
Yeah, like people obviously.
there's
I
some
think property
connection.
is really a thing. Having property is really a
in-
thing
in Nigeria.
Especially my culture, my tribe. Man, 2 siblings can be very cool, but they can start having like issues because of property.
Because of property.
Property is
What
really,
can you make a lot of money off of property there?
Of course.
You can?
Yes.
That's
My
why-
brother-in-law
As in, like,
my
you-
brother-in-law is into real estate. Like my
Oh.
sister's husband is good. Like
Why?
you can make a lot of money.
So is it because like in the States you can, but maybe not if you make a bad deal or if the interest rates are high one year or if inflation or whatever. Sometimes you can't find someone to rent it out, right? But what is it like? What makes it easier to make money with property in Nigeria? Is it because of the way the government
I
is,
think,
yeah.
like U.S. system. I can't really say much about how their system is like. It's more. Let me say, they have a better system.
You think so? Can't make money. Depends.
I feel like in Nigeria you can get away with a lot of things.
Oh.
So, for example, a community may own like this massive land, right? So it's literally the elders of this community. They might be like, okay, we want to sell this part of our community, right?
Sure.
And then you as a real estate investor,
Sure,
like you
sure.
can just like,
You can buy it.
Yes, you now buy from this community.
Oh, you're buying from community, so you don't just own houses, you own like complexes
So-
with businesses coming in.
Yeah, so when they now buy
Oh.
the community,
Oh.
like buy from this community,
Oh.
then they now start selling to other people.
Right, of course.
So you now start, like you map out how much, like obviously you know how much you bought it,
Right.
and then how much you
can
make,
earn,
yeah.
right? Because you're having businesses come in. So that's the difference because the government owns and there's
Yeah,
districts
so
on where
most
you can
times
have,
it's not owned by the government.
it's more
owned
by your
the
community.
community.
Ah, there you go. You
So
can
like
make a lot of
now-
money then.
That's why there
that-
are wars.
Yeah, so now when the
'Cause
community
it's all negotiation against another person. You're not going against policy or like regulation. Some places you can't put like a house, you can't put like a business there because it's regulated by zoning laws about what you can do. But if it's a community, I'm pretty sure you this guy can own a shop
and you
there.
know, most of them are, let me say, they are quite ignorant. They're old men. Like,
Yeah, they don't
really,
know.
So,
Oh my
by the
God,
time
I would make
you
a lot
sell
of money. Oh my
yeah, they sell the property and
Yeah.
then they now start to share the money amongst themselves. So, literally, for that community, I think every male, like, if you're a male in that community, you're supposed to get like a part of that money.
Oh.
Yes, you're supposed to.
I have a question. Why are quite a number of Nigerian guys here telling people, hey, I am actually a prince?
That's a stereotype.
No, they actually
never
said
met
that. I
someone who
I
said
met
that
at
in
least
real life.
2. I met
That's
at least
wild
2,
to me.
yeah,
Really?
in person.
Maybe they are actually. Maybe they
this
are.
is interesting because now
Because you know what?
How
Each
many
community, that's the thing,
princes
like
are there?
every community, like they do have a king.
So the tribe leader is
Not even a
considered-
tribe. Tribe is like relatively is massive. So if you say like in my tribe, like my own tribe, the
you
amount
probably
of
don't
kings.
even know it. You don't probably know everyone in your tribe. Yeah, it's
You
impossible.
know what?
Yeah,
Do you know how many
yeah.
people? Like my tribe has like let me say, we have 36 states in Nigeria. So my tribe has like maybe like 7, 8 states.
Yeah.
From 36
Exactly,
states.
impossible.
So in each state,
The head of the state is considered
no.
No?
In the states they have the governor, like in each state they have the governor, right?
Yeah.
But then again, when it comes to like they now have like villages, like your roots, like communities. So each, like now my village, I think my village is like they have like 2 communities in a way. So this community have their own king, and this other community have their own.
So
king.
he's just like a village chief's son.
Why you say they still have a lot of power?
Come on, what are you trying to say?
Like anything that you can.
I mean, look, my grandfather is a village chief. I'm not a
No, the
princess.
thing is that they still have a lot of power.
Yeah.
They still have a lot of power.
Plus what you said is that
you're being served. They are also like in a way also being served.
because like what you said, okay, they could have power, but also they get a fraction of whatever money is earned from the community. So even if I don't have any land because I'm a male and because I'm a part of this community, I get a fraction of something. That's what you just said, right? So yeah, you could be making money just off of
they don't need to do anything.
They don't need to do anything.
And they're making money. They don't need to do anything. So like obviously it's not. We don't really like whatever king's son. We don't care. But like to compare to how like it is in China, I think like if you're a Guowan or like so it's more powerful. But I think in Nigeria we don't really care.
People
like,
don't care.
If you're whatever. Do you have money? That's
right. Do you have it? Because like if everyone has money, then it's like, do you have more money than everyone else?
Yeah, so it can be a king that again, my money is even bigger than so I don't really care. And you know, for in Nigerian culture, I feel like we respect money more than even the person.
Oh, you know what? This is amazing. So
very practical.
It's, you know what? Because when I listen to that, it kind of like, now I get it. Because I've always wondered, like, this is another thing, statistics. So I'm a Black American, right? There's different experience, right? I can't trace my roots at all, right? That's why it's actually, in Africana studies, we shouldn't call ourselves African Americans. It's Black American, technically, right? Except for my friend David, who you meet, his father is a Ghanaian immigrant, so he's actually African American, right? So he's like half Ghanaian, half like Black American or whatever, because his mom, whatever. So I only learned this from work study at the Africana student. That's why I worked there. It wasn't my major. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that like most of the Black people or at Penn or like my undergrad are either Ghanaian or Nigerian. And the general stereotype is that there's because I mean before the policy change where you can't know people's ethnicity because the Supreme Court changed it, we would just be all mixed into like Black, right? But like most people are immigrants from Ghana or Nigeria, and there's a huge appreciation for education and also money from those nations, right? So I've always wondered like why? What is the culture there that's like incentivizing education and like work, right? At least from Ghana and Nigeria. And when you say something like that, if I grow up in that environment, I'm already sensitive to how to make money. Right, you know what I mean? At a very early age, right?
And
that's
also
amazing.
for my tribe, we are literally known. We are even like known for that tribe that we hustle for the money, like the most.
Well, the most out of all of us.
So much.
So we just like. So anywhere I come to, they say, I don't know if you've heard this thing. They say, if you go to any country and you don't see a Nigeria, just leave the country because
the economy is not good.
There's nothing there. Like if Nigerians are literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Even the worst places, you'd be like, why are you here? Like, the person is there and you can see that the person is even making it. So I feel like it's because people respect money a lot than the personality. So I feel like that's the thing that actually makes people like, I need to get money, you need to be like, you need to get contacts. So if you have money, you need to also find people that have
they have money,
because
it's networking,
it's only when you have the contact, like, you get whatever you want. You need the network. So, and money is the network.
Yeah.
You get, so that's why they say sometimes you see some guys, they're hanging around like their rich friend, and even when he says something that is not funny, they're laughing, ha 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 ha, because they feel like, okay, check, maybe Burna Boy or Davido, you see guys are always like working with them in the clubs. You see the guys are just they just want to hang around because they feel like they can gain something from this person. So like Nigerians are kind of like trained to always like the money. I know that is wrong, like respecting money than personality, because sometimes It can be, you can literally look down on somebody because, like, maybe if I see someone I'm already rating, are they up to my class? Like, a little bit of classism.
You've been in China for a long time. Also, you studied Chinese before you even came here.
Yeah.
So, based on your observation, do you think Nigerians love money more than Chinese people do?
This is a good question. This is a really good question.
I used to think, people used to tell me that China and Nigeria, like Nigeria, they are siblings.
Yeah.
I feel like in a way the culture is intertwined. And they also have a lot of Chinese in Nigeria.
They do, yeah, because of the Belt Road Initiative.
The only thing I feel like Chinese people will push you to the last. If they want you to get something, like they want you to buy this phone, they would bug you.
Oh, so this is interesting. So like money-making tactics, because I think that every culture appreciates money to some degree, but when we talk about these two intertwined, there's different ways, right? And so I wonder if you can comment on that, because
so for a Chinese, like coming here and then Nigerians can be, maybe you go to the market to buy something and then people are pushing you, come here, dragging you.
Oh, they are pushing, they're coming out to you.
They will drag you.
Really?
They will drag you. If you're going to the market, you don't hold your bag like, I'm holding my bag like this. You're holding it like this.
You're kidding.
They are going to drag you.
It's like, so that's very similar to China, I think that.
Yeah, I feel like China, like their own might be like, they'll bug you with the messages.
They bug you.
They're calling you immediately.
They're calling you every day, or they're coming up to you like, hey, let me help you.
So for Nigerians, they can, then if you, let me say, you come to this shop and be like, okay, I want to buy this thing, and then the person tells you it's 5,000 RMB, and you say 2,000 RMB. So they will. A typical Nigerian, sometimes they will want to haggle, but then again, the rude part of them will be like, they will leave you.
They just walk away.
Yo! They will leave you. They'll be like,
I like that.
They'll be like, did I come? The person might say, did I come to the market? Oh, you're the one feeding me. For you to they can get angry because you priced them, like they feel like you underpriced them.
Yes.
But I feel like for Chinese people, no, Chinese people, I feel like they are more, they push more. Nigerians,
push you in terms of the haggling.
Already leaving you to the next person.
It's a different psychological
I feel like
tactic.
they are not, some of them are not customer, I feel like the problem we have is just customer care relationship.
Sure.
They might not be nice. Sometimes they don't understand this is business. So the tendencies of them putting emotions over business.
Oh, but it's also a tactic. If I know you can only work with me, and then you're trying to haggle, you give me a price 100, and I walk away, maybe somehow that's going to lead to, because it works in negotiation. But in China, I feel like some people will they just really try to get you.
I feel like Nigerians, they get more emotional. So there was this time when I was back home, I wanted to get something so they had other people sell, a bunch of people selling that same thing. So this woman was calling me, I didn't answer. So I went to the other woman, I got from this other woman. And then I came back to the woman that was calling me to get the other thing from her.
Sure.
So when I came to her, I was like, okay, how much is this thing? So she looked up, she saw I was the one, she just ignored me.
Right.
So I was so mad, I'm like, so because you saw I bought from the other person, and so now you're angry that you're not going to sell anything at all. You see, it's being emotional.
Yeah, well, you're being emotional. I can still buy something else from you. It's still money.
You just sell your business. I already come to you, so I already came to you. So why are you? So they can get emotional. Yeah, but I feel Chinese people, they don't really get that until you probably ignore them or just walk away. But Chinese people, they'll keep on trying to So I feel like Chinese people are more customer, they know how to do the customer relationship. I know Chinese people also love money. I think they even love money more than Nigerians. Yeah, I think so. The only thing is that they maybe Nigerians are they look for opportunities everywhere in the world, everywhere. But I feel like Chinese people actually do love money more than Nigerians. Yeah.
There's also one.
They will scam you too. If you I feel like Chinese people, if you don't know the in thing, they can just take your money and go.
Oh yes.
That Chinese people are but Nigerians are, maybe they look for
everyone. If the customer lacks knowledge, you're certainly taking advantage.
So if you see a Chinese living in Nigeria, they are literally even like the same. You see the way they like they are pushing for, like the only thing now they go to the dragging part. They are dragging because imagine a complex that is selling like literally the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't stay in your shop to look for customers. You have to come out.
Right.
Drag the person.
Jesus
in.
Christ.
So by the time they drag you,
you got like your arms like, all right.
you're gonna drag
I think there's also one more thing Chinese people share in common with Nigerians, which is Chinese people don't mind being in long distance relationship with their loved ones.
No, see,
I don't believe that at all.
I feel like I'm just
Seriously, you haven't seen how many migrant workers work in a city with their family, children and wives behind. Haven't you seen
maybe
that?
it's true.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're
true
right.
because I know they have a lot of like.
They can leave their children behind. They can leave their wives behind.
It's actually true.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like biased.
Don't use me as the example. I'm not like this thing you said now. It actually makes sense because a lot of immigrants, like Nigerians that are in America or like Canada, and their family. Some of them they have not even seen their family for 15 years.
Right.
You're kidding me?
With their kids, they have not seen them. Until they get whatever they need to do is either they bring the family or
they send money back.
They send money back.
My wife would kill me, man. I don't. That's why my biases.
Let me tell you the thing is that some of them even know that. So sometimes the guys they travel abroad and then they just get married to get their papers faster.
Yeah.
So some of their wives even know that he's married to
another person.
Yes.
That still happens. I feel like you're talking about something that happens like generations ago.
It happens. Even like one of my friends was telling me anything you have to do it. Yeah. Do it. Get the papers.
What?
The money, because if you get the papers, you can then relax, work more, and send her money. Like,
shit, people are really to make some other sacrifices for money.
The problem I have with this is I feel like you are actually, like, it's a love scam. So imagine someone...
It's a love scam. That's what you say, right? Yeah.
So I come to you, like, you meet a guy, and this person is confessing love, like, they genuinely love you and all that. And then you're also thinking, this person, we are feeling the same thing, right? Not knowing that this person has, like, other motives or intentions just because they want to use you and get, like, residency.
Papers. Residence so they can make more money.
No, that is not. It's either you tell this person, see what I want.
Up front, yeah.
It can be contracts, whatever.
Right, it could be a contract.
It's better than
manipulate them.
Yes, it's not nice.
You know stories of people manipulate people, huh?
Like, even there was this time my sister was telling me, this girl, she got married. So, like, my sister was hearing, she knows the girl, so she was hearing stories like, that for people that went for the marriage ceremony, that, pictures were not allowed, videos, whatever was not allowed. So, later, my sister now asked the girl, I had this, why? She said, the guy is married abroad, so he also came back to Nigeria, like, he needs a Nigerian wife, right? And then, so he got married to her, and so that's why they were like, no pictures, because obviously, if any single picture leaks out, probably on the internet, and they sees it, everything he has worked for in the country, whatever country, they'll take it from him. Lady, like, obviously she can use it and cheating husband, like,
Right, you can
or bigamy.
Right.
Go to marry another person. So, and the girl is even fine with it. Like, it's the girl that I don't understand. He's married, but then the money, the guy has this big mansion, And that's the thing, like, if you marry someone that is rich, especially in Nigeria, you're considered you married good.
Right.
Even if you're married, even if the person is abusive, you're considered you're married good. So, like, the show of money, the properties he has. I'm like, oh my God, if I'm talking, like, them saying one of my friends got married to someone that's, I'm like, man, she married. She married.
She married good. She married good.
She married good. So they equate everything that has to do with money.
Right.
Good. So the person might be in an abusive relationship, being beaten, whatever. But
that is wild.
Nobody sees it.
It's not wild. It's just
even
different.
one time my friend was dating this guy that was abusive to her, and the guy wanted to marry her. So she told her mom, no, she can't marry this person. Her mom was like, why? She was like, it's basically like, are you the first person that like has been beaten before? Like, you will not die. How many people have died out of because the guy has money.
Yeah.
So the parents are already checking how I feel like sometimes they actually maybe they take their daughters or as a poverty alleviation scheme. Like, okay, if my daughter marries into this rich family,
that's such a
like
traditional view across the world. Honestly,
yeah. So
around
now,
marriage.
like the guy will take care of our bills. We don't have to suffer anymore. All the so they don't mind their
That's
daughter
across
being
the world, man. It's really messed up for
being
women.
the pawn for whatever their scheme. So that's just the thing. But I feel like Chinese and Nigerian, they are really very similar. Even the way they talk, Nigerians are very direct, like very direct people. We can just say.
You think Chinese people are direct? I don't. In my experience,
they say I'm like, oh, ni and pan, like they are literally saying
that's what you mean. That's what you mean. That's what you mean.
They come to you. They don't even mind. They come to you. They are touching he.
Oh yeah. I've experienced that.
I feel like they say maybe they don't really say it for, but if you listen to the way Chinese people talk, I feel like they are even to themselves. They are really, really direct to themselves.
I've had moments where like that's true. I agree with that. But I also have moments where someone they have a roundabout way of trying to get to tell you something. So they don't. I've had people in my industry at least. They wouldn't tell me something. They would go and tell someone else to tell me something, right? Because
but that's when it comes to work. When it comes to work, there's this power dynamics.
Oh.
Also, people are very indirect when it comes to.
So it's a work thing. You feel it's very indirect.
Also, the things, whatever they say, they want to protect themselves. They're like, for example, if I'm giving advice or feedback to a person that maybe has a higher position than I have, I'm worried. Insecurity, actually.
Yeah.
But even if they're on my same level, or if they're older, they wouldn't really sometimes say directly.
Maybe because you're not Chinese.
Maybe because
I heard so many.
That's what I'm saying.
Stories.
If you listen to them, like from Chinese, but then again, I know.
I think you're right. I think you're right. My experience is different because I heard that some of my colleagues who are Chinese, some mothers or parents will talk to them very aggressively and directly.
Exactly.
So
I heard from the people that I work with, and then they were telling me that they have this PUA culture at workplace.
What is PUA? What does it mean?
Which is it's like a pickup artist. So when you're trying to manipulate somebody in a relationship or gaslighting somebody.
Oh, I see.
And then like the boss gaslight them, like trash you. The way it's like it's not even like you've done well in this part, but there is room for you to improve. But not even, that's considered okay-ish. But they're just like, you're not good enough. So that's
I see.
that kind of.
And that's why sometimes I feel like maybe, I don't know, this thing you said now, when it comes to the work system, like the work culture, I feel like sometimes they overdo things. Some things that are not necessary. Just because they don't want to be probably told things from like the higher rank or something like that. So they it's like there's this unhealthy competition amongst them.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I'm just doing something with you like normally, but then you're literally trying to do better than me. Like I don't know, but then they are always saying, I need to do good. Like, okay, this is my presentation. Maybe this week is my presentation. So I need to
I think
do so good that then you hear them say something like, last week when this other person did, like, can't you see the way the boss was smiling? So I feel like there's this unhealthy competition even amongst their
I think it depends on the environment. Because are those environments work environments or school environments? I don't know. Maybe both. I don't know because you came here for study. So, but I think there's an aggressiveness when it comes to the academic environment in China, without a doubt. Maybe that translates.
Even amongst the kids.
Yeah, in the work environment.
There's always one shadow. They always have a shadow. So you're very smart, and then very smart. I'm also smart. But then again, I have to always compare myself with you.
This comparison constantly.
That's why I say it's an unhealthy competition, and then the comparison, whatever. So I'm comparing myself with Adam. The moment our test result is out, I check what your score is.
It's awful.
You get so.
I didn't experience that here.
There's this shadow that you're also, and then you, Adam, you're also pursuing someone else's shadow, Lee's shadow, Lee's shadow.
Yeah.
So as I'm checking yours, you're also checking
Yeah,
what did she
right,
score.
right.
Like, so there's this unhealthy, like,
Very
it's not-
unhealthy. It starts very young too.
Yes.
I
like,
see it right now, right to this day, with like clients that have like, or families and parents that have children, always comparing their children to other people's children. It's like you have children, and they become like your pawns of comparison. It's awful.
it's very. So I feel like that's the thing that probably also, the older they get, it begins to create that kind of environment, even in the workplace. They always want to do, like, prove a point or something like that. So
That's wild.
And I think Nigerians are still more traditional than Chinese.
That's a
Like-
strong statement.
Right,
You think
'cause,
so?
for example, like as you were saying that you guys still want to get married.
I feel like when it comes to the marriage thing,
Yeah.
I used to think that, how parents used to, like, getting married, especially for the girls, like, you need to get married, blah, blah, blah. But I came to China, I felt like the pressure was even more. When I was in Nigeria, that's why it's good to travel, like, meet other cultures.
Yeah, I
Don't
totally
just
agree with
talk,
that.
like, maybe think, because I know people in Nigeria be like, oh, how parents, they pressurize kids, this, that, other countries, they're not like that. Like,
But you
shut up.
haven't been.
You have not been there.
Yeah.
You have not been there. Like,
Yeah.
So when I came here, I just realized that, our parents don't do anything to us.
Wow.
I feel like here is so, like, the pressure is more.
The pressure's more for
The pressure
tradition.
is more,
So
definitely.
she's answering. I think that she said like that like it's maybe. Is there anything in Nigeria where people literally would go to a park and try to tell them?
No.
It's because it's easier for you guys to find a mate.
It's not easy anywhere.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
It's
Is there a lot of?
easier.
Are there a lot of
The thing is
bachelors?
that, okay, they have a lot of people, but then again, is this person who you want?
Yeah.
Because they have, like, the same way they have guys, they also have, like, multitude of, like, they also have girls, but then again,
Here, there's more women than men, and their women are outperforming men.
Actually, the number shows there are more men than women.
Oh really? I thought it was more. I'm sorry.
Because
I'm sorry.
the one-child policy.
so
a
most
lot of baby girls
girls
were
were
aborted.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay.
according to the number, there are 30 million more men.
So there's more women.
Than
But
women.
I know the women are outperforming men on average in terms of education and
Right.
salary.
That's why it's hard for women
to find.
to find.
But if you're saying is right, then there should be more men on average.
Yeah, that's why they're buying wives from other countries.
What?
Buying wives from other
What?
countries.
Men are buying wives from other
Myanmar.
countries?
Yeah.
What?
Seriously.
Wow, I believe you. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's wild.
Right.
But
Okay.
I feel like, man, for
Here's
example, a
the
place like Lagos, you will never see, even the person might be married, the man, and he's telling you, I really feel for, I really feel for single people, because sometimes you can see the men, but then again, they are not what you want, So if you have, like, high standards, to meet someone that, like, obviously matches up with your standards, will be a little bit difficult.
It's very difficult.
Except if you don't care, like, some people just have money, they're fine. Right? Some people, like, there's this,
I think
like,
that's
there's this billionaire, like, this man is like,
Yeah.
I think in his 60s,
Yeah.
he got married to this 20-year-old girl. Like, the man has a lot of money.
Wow.
So, and she's the 5th wife.
Yeah. So I think that's a significant difference.
I feel like, here, like, when it comes to, but then again, it might just be a battle within the family, but then coming out to an open space to put you yourself find someone, you go to maybe the online dating apps, but then there is no place that people just come out, so, like, I know it's also difficult for people in Nigeria because, man, the men, they are wild and, gosh.
They're wild, huh?
Like, especially if you have money, it's even easier. You can get as many girls. Like, just play with them. I'm
So it's
telling
actually,
you.
it's
So,
hard.
and then there's also this baby mama culture that is now like,
Baby mama culture.
yeah.
I mean,
so if
I
I
know
can
what
have a
that
child,
means in the States, but I don't know if it's different in Nigeria.
if you have a child with probably your girlfriend, you don't have to marry this person, especially like for the men. You don't
Do you
have to
have
get
to
married.
pay child support?
You
Or
can
no?
just be paying. You don't like.
the States,
Maybe
you
don't
have
call
to
it
pay
child support, but then again, you might be
You pay. but
giving
you don't
like
have to
school
marry.
fees, the welfare of the child.
But do you have to?
You don't, but you might be doing those things.
But
some people they don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Every time
like,
on social media, I see women dragging their baby daddies.
But I'm
Because
saying,
there's no
in the-
government law that supports like how it is in America.
Yeah, like in the States, like you have to, and if you don't, then like you lose some of your rights as a dude. Like my dad didn't pay for my 2 younger sisters, and now that's why he can't get a passport. Yeah, he can't even come here for the wedding because of that. Because he didn't pay a long time ago. It's so funny.
He cannot pay back?
I don't know how. He probably don't want to. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah. But that's the baby. I mean, whatever. He's always been like that.
The government, like our government laws, they don't really. So first of all, people will come from the moral part of it. Like, why did you open your legs for a man that is not your husband?
Oh my
right,
God.
of course.
Yes,
I mean,
you know,
course,
the thing
there's
about
always
Nigeria is that
Oh
we
my
have the
God.
moral standard, you know, because of, like, there's the moral standard as well.
That's
I feel
not.
like-
That's everywhere. I mean, in the States, like that too. Yeah, I think.
So they maybe even go to the police, or you go to the police person to report. They're telling you, why did you? Is he your husband? Did he get married to you? And then you opened your legs, and then you're coming to report. Some people even go like, when the both of you were enjoying, did you call us? So why are you calling us now?
Oh
That's
my
so
God,
funny.
So they're like, it is you guys' business. We don't
Right,
care.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So some people will literally come from because you're not supposed to have a
Wild.
child with a man that is not your.
Of course, that's well, not of course.
So there
but
should
that
be
is-
commitment for you to
Do
go
you
to
think
the-
that that's heavily Christian influenced? Because that's like how it is in the States.
I feel
Very,
like,
very Baptist.
you know, let me tell you something. Sometimes, yeah, like I can also say what is heavily like Christianity has,
Sure.
but then again, if you check it, especially for the women are the ones that tend to suffer for these things more.
Of course.
We
Yeah.
are always losing on this thing. So if they are like, I
Not
know,
of
like,
course, as in like I agree, but I agree with that unfortunate state.
yeah, like growing up, they were like way harder on the women, like on the girl child,
Yeah.
than on the boy child. Why? Because they will tell you, if anything, if you get pregnant, you probably stop schooling. The guy will continue schooling, right? But you have to now be left with the burden of a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like abortion is not legal.
Oh.
It's not legal.
So, and also your parents will not even want to create that room for that environment for you to, like, if you're pregnant and then you're just walking into the house, like, literally you're going to suffer.
You're
Like,
going to suffer the...
They will make, because it's like, number two, you brought shame to the family.
Oh, I see, yeah.
You brought shame to the family.
Yeah.
So they are always hard on the women, but I feel like women don't understand these things, especially the kind of man you want to end up with. So if you get pregnant, the guy might say, I don't want to, like, he might even deny it. I say,
Of course, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that you had other guys, that you're not the only one.
Right, of course.
And then you are left, you're crying, you suffer, you'll be the one to cater for that child. The guy is also like, and the worst part is that you see other women still fighting for that same guy.
For that same guy, so it's not like he doesn't have any options.
He has a lot of options.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel like this is left for the ladies to protect themselves when it comes to this part.
Yeah.
Don't get pregnant for someone that has not decided to commit to you. It's risky.
It's
if it
very
was
risky.
like, if you check even in America, like you after and some of them they will even have like 2, 3 kids, 4 kids. If he doesn't want to, and then you think having those kids for him will make him marry you. Sometimes they don't.
But what that does in the States, if you can prove that he's a child, the government requires him to pay child support.
But then again, you too, you are also like you're most part of the life you're with those kids.
Yeah.
He might probably be paying child support. And then he's living-
Of course, that's what happens all the time. You pay child support, the guy's not there, whatever, and if he doesn't want to be a part of it, but he's just sending money. And then sometimes what happens in a lot of like, if you're making below like 30,000 a year, then you can get government aid. So government gives you some money per month for each child, or like for Medicaid, Medicare, right? So it's a really weird system.
It's not a nice system.
No, it's a
I
weird
feel
system.
like
Yeah.
you're giving, and then the woman is basically maybe she's doing most of the work, and then I feel like it's just like, okay, if I have more kids, I will get the aid from the government.
That's the problem. That's a lot of what conservative people are saying, that we need to reduce these Medicare, Medicaid problems because it's not incentivizing people to work and whatnot. But then a lot of socialists or like leftists or like Democrats will say, no, we need more support or aid problems. You can't blame the individuals. You have to blame the history in the States.
The problem
But
is
history is a part of it.
lack of accountability. Like people don't like to to be accountable to their bad behaviors.
But also there's research on structural barriers, especially if we're talking about most of the people in those programs are either Black American or Hispanic or whatever. Then like there's been histories in the state that actually have zoned off or blocked people from opportunities, right? And so when you see that research, then it's like, well, what do we do as a country for the fact of the whole transatlantic slave trade. Like, what do we do for that history, right? And how do we address it? California is the most progressive place. They're trying to not actually talk about reparations or whatnot, but it's like, I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I don't.
But then again, okay, fight for that. Don't go have. Don't go. Yeah, fight for that. Like, so that you start. Like, have you had this? There's this American lady. I've forgotten her name. Yeah. She was saying something about how, like, the Black Americans, they cry a lot about, how the system, it doesn't favor, the Black Americans. Blah, 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 blah. But then again, she was saying that immigrants come to America and they make it.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
Immigrants, like they say, most of the, like, if you go to Texas, the top doctors in Texas is from Nigeria.
Immigrants. So the
thing
thing
is, immigrants from Nigeria.
That's a hard statistic to do because America is an immigrant nation, right? So that's true. And usually immigrants' policy is so aggressive that you're only getting the best of the best. When we look at the Chinese immigration laws, those were people who were top or scoring well. They're not like people were, in very smart. So the immigration policies are only incentivizing the smartest and best people.
Yeah.
So that you're right, but also we got to look at who's America allowing in, and also the people who are just from the descendants of the free labor.
For example, that's why I feel like sometimes people don't like to take responsibility. This is my personal opinion, right? Yeah. So for people like Black Americans, there's something that you cry about something so much, and then you just use it as you weaponize it, like that is the reason. It's like saying, the reason why I am rude is because I'm feminine. It doesn't make sense. You're rude because you chose to be rude.
You know what?
It's not because you're Gemini.
So I just want to let you know that I 100% agree with you that when it comes to upward mobility, you cannot blame your history or your circumstances. You have to find a way. And maybe I have this perspective because I literally came from that and I tried to find a way, but I know for some people it's not easy. For some people, the mental resistance or the fortitude is not there, and they feel more depressed, they feel more down, they feel like they can't fight back so strongly, and I just empathize with that. But on average, I do agree with you, and I don't have the answer. I just I
think that's
for example, the opportunities that that people have in America.
Yeah.
We don't, Nigerians don't even have any of it. Nobody is giving you shit.
Yeah.
Nobody's giving you money.
I know.
So you already know that you have to work with what you have. Nobody's coming to help you.
Driven.
But I feel like when people know that, okay, I'm going to get money from the government at the end of the day, it's going to, at least hunger should be a factor. By the time you don't see any food to eat, nobody's going to tell you to go and look for what to do.
I totally agree to some degree. It's so weird because a part of me is you're right, but then I see people still living on the street. There's still, even despite the aid programs, there's still or the drug problem in the States, and guns, right? So people get addicted to those, and then people have this is what you can do in the States. A lot of people do this. They go to the doctor, they get diagnosed with an illness, and the illness now allows them to get government aid as well for that illness, right? So she's going, all right.
All the aids, you're doing drugs, and because you see, I feel like these are the things that causes some of the problems.
Because she believes in hard work.
Yeah,
so
hard work, and then there are some things you don't.
Those people believe in hard work. They've just suffered
But
trauma.
then again, I feel like the system, how do you, because you have been diagnosed with a sickness and then you start getting money?
Yeah.
These are the person will be like, okay,
I
don't have to push more.
Yeah.
I don't have to push more.
But the thing is, when you look at
certain privileges.
I'm telling you.
But it's not just, I just want to also focus the discussion because it's not entirely Black Americans. I just want to say that on average, it's more white Americans who are in this than Black Americans. Just want to say. But the percentage is greater.
Yeah. White people actually get more, I feel like they even get more.
There's more poor white people in the States than Black people just because of pure numbers, right? And that's the reason why we have people, after Trump, who are coming out of the woodworks. They're like, wait a second, we're really poor here. They're still under aid, whatever. But most of the aid programs, just on average, are supporting white Americans because of the numbers. Unfortunately, disproportionately, because Black Americans make up 12 to 20% of the population, yet make up a lot more of the other aid programs in prisons and whatnot. There's a disproportionate, right? You don't see 12% of Black people in prison. It's more in the 80s, right? So it's there's an issue there, and that's what we're trying to address. But also, that's why we see the Trump movement, whatever, because on average there's more poor white people, and they feel like they've been lacking a voice because of whatever.
So, okay, there's this girl, she's from the UK, so she was telling me, her, like, all the student loans, right?
Oh my God,
that
that's a whole nother
she got,
thing.
like, student loan that, she used to work here in China, but she has left. So she said something like, maybe 30 years they'll just forgive you. She doesn't have to finish paying, like, whatever. 30 years they'll just forgive. In my head, I'm like, wow. You're working here. Why just pay off your student loan? Like, you're working, save up money, pay it off. Because I know Nigerians, like, they move to the UK for studies. A lot of Nigerians.
They
and for international students, the fees
are high.
Way, like,
and then you can't get any aid.
Nothing. They're paying like, £20,000, £25,000.
Yeah.
And then these people come. They are given 20 hours in a week.
Yeah.
And these people pay off their school fees before they graduate.
Yeah.
So you are a citizen. That's what, like, I just compare it this way. I feel like
you're right.
When you give people a lot of privileges, even as, like, for me, if I have a child, I know I will give you the best.
Right.
But then again, I'm not going to, because maybe my mom is rich, and then you also
have to work.
You have to work.
Yeah. I see that all the time. This is a smart, a really for the group, because like you see it all the time. People grow up from poverty or whatever, and then they become really wealthy because they know what it tastes like. I see it all the time, and now there's like a lot of pretty wealthy Chinese families, and their children are just like atrophied. There's no motivation because they give them everything.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I'm telling you. And then they're also like maybe another thing. Those kids probably they want to be like they want to go into football. And then if you go into football, who is going to manage the wealth? So they also want you to be in the family business, right? So you see those kids, it actually makes them like, okay, this is what I want to do. But then again, I
totally agree with you.
Like growing up, when like my dad used to teach us. When he was even like, there's this house that he was he was constructing, right? Yeah. He used to make us go there and work.
Yeah.
And like after working, he pays you the same amount that he pays like
the people
that work there.
Yeah.
So that I'm like, I actually even grew up thinking that like I'm from like we are so poor because you don't just like.
I did the same thing. I had to work construction over the summer.
Like, we'll go there, we'll pack things, like...
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of the thing that actually made me, like, now as an adult, like, I understood responsibility...
Exactly.
...early, right? Because it wasn't like, giving you, like, whatever you ask. Sometimes I come to ask for something, you have to give details of whatever you're asking him for. Like, I want to use this thing for this. You have to be very detailed because he will ask you questions. And even if you're lying, you have to be a very good liar. So in a way, actually trained me to be like your mouth has to be very sharp.
Yeah.
Because he will ask you.
Yeah.
So it actually made me, okay, I know that I have to be very responsible. Like, nobody's coming for you. Now, even if he has, like, you don't have to rely on him because it's not like he gives you just like that. Right. So he really, really helped me. Like, okay, I have like 5 siblings, right? So I'm the 4th. And then I have like a younger sister.
Yeah.
So she's the younger sister. So the tendencies of the older ones giving her stuff. When she asks, like, okay, she'll come to me, she'll ask, she'll go to my older brother, she goes to my sister, she goes to
get free stuff.
People, like, the last ones, I feel like back on the last ones are like the mini gods. They are loved. They are just they are loved, like you're the last child. So they are genuinely loved.
Yeah.
So
babies.
they just come, babies. And then she's also a girl, so it makes it even more baby. Like more of the baby. So she doesn't even need to ask. And you're already giving her, right? But then again, she's even like 2nd year, she's about to get into the 3rd year in the uni. I actually realized that she's lazy. Like when I traveled back home, she was asking me, so when am I, like the iPhone, I promised like to give her the iPhone because I got this iPhone. I have this iPhone 11 Pro Max, so I got a new one. So when I came, so she was expecting that I was going to, I said, no, girl.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it to you.
Right.
You're going to work.
You're going to work.
I told her, she also knows how to braid. She knows how to braid
but she doesn't
very
want-
well. I thought that you're in the uni. You can make money off your fellow, like the girls.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
why don't you, like, I already know her problem is that, why do I have to work when I have older siblings that will do it?
Right.
So, and I know that if we keep on, like, everybody giving her, she'll feel entitled.
Yeah.
She will always think that people have, like, people, they need to give me.
Yeah.
Even not
That's
if-
what
and
I
feel
was
like
gonna
that
say, you're
if you
right.
raise entitled, even kids that think that, yeah, the world should revolve around me. So when they hear no from people, they get mad.
They
like,
get mad.
Life is not always like that.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly. I
for
totally
parts in your
agree.
life, you will suffer. Like, even if, whether you have money or not, there are
Yeah.
some things you still have to
I
do
totally
with
agree.
as an individual. Like, you know how to deal with rejection.
Yeah.
If they reject you, like,
Yeah.
you don't have to, I feel like you don't have to go into depression.
Yeah, right.
It's part of life. If you get rejected, like, Lean, like, you move to the UK right now, like, you move to London,
Yeah.
and then just because someone says, I'm not giving you a job because you're Asian, do you have to cry?
You're racist.
Yeah, I got like, racist. I'll move. You fine. I know I'll still get it some other place. I wouldn't use because, oh, you said because I'm this, or like, I feel like these are the things that cause people, like, they feel so entitled. They feel so like, you know, the world should revolve around me. No, the world doesn't. You're not. Who are you?
I love that perspective.
No.
She's
You-
tough.
No,
It's really tough.
you know, the thing is, which is cool about this is that, like, we're not talking about something that's even, I think, nation-based or cultural. We're talking about something like, you were taught that in your family, and actually my aunt who raised me was same thing in terms of what we had to do, and I think that's why we shared some of those same values. But I also know, because I was a younger child, I was also given a lot, and so sometimes I know I feel that sense of entitlement. If I'm gonna, that negative thing that I'm trying to wash away, right? I'm not so. Who am I? Like, I don't deserve these things. I'm not anybody. I need to work, but I still, like, would work. But I think it's a gradient, and it really depends on how you raise a child. No matter if you're, Nigerian or American or whatever.
Like, I did education back home, like my major course. So some of the courses, like, we are studying sometimes. So I feel like looking at kids now, I just feel like, nah. Like, no matter what, like, this, life has principles. People will be like, oh, there is no format to this. You do you. There's nothing like do you.
No.
You can do you. Okay, jump into the train. Like, I feel like life has principles. So, sometimes there's some excuses we give to kids because they are kids. Oh, he's a child. She's a child.
Yes, yeah.
But then again, those kids, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Kids are manipulative.
They, for sure, without a doubt.
Don't even indulge them.
That's right.
I'm telling you,
My
like,
aunt was just
working
like
in
that.
the
She would
education
just say the
sector, I
same.
just know that there's some things I'm like, well, you're just lucky that this character, you're taking it to your family, not to me, because I'm going to punch. I'm going.
That's another thing, actually, because when you did, I'm curious. This is maybe the last time, or not the last one, but I'm curious, right? I grew up in an environment, and I'm always so curious about this because we talked about like education and also immigration, like in different cultures, whatever. But the issue, I feel like there's one thing that I would change that the way I was raised, that, like, if I have children, I would change. I'm wondering if you'd agree, because I do agree. I'm not going to get, no matter how wealthy I am, right? I'm not going to give, like, everything's got to be earned. But one thing I would change is I don't think that I would beat my children. But I don't, because I was beat when I was little. But I don't know. But I also feel that, like, there's some merits to it. If a child goes beyond the lines, what are you going to do, right? You can't just, I don't want to be like the typical American white person who's like, you go sit in the corner or whatever. Like, we had to sometimes do weird physical things. So this I haven't figured out yet, right? I don't know how to address it because I feel I want to do something different. But I'm curious, have you thought about this, or how you would approach if you had children? Like what?
Beating?
Yeah, whether or not you would physically hit. Like, my mom, for instance, my biological mom, when I was really young, she wouldn't hit us, but she would take a belt and do like this in front of our face. And we would cry because we were so young, right? And then as we got older, we got whooped with like extension cords or belts or whatever. And then obviously you get old enough, especially as a male, when no one's gonna hit you. But one time, anyway, still I was quite old, like a teenager, and Tony, my cousin, did tackle me because she thought I put up my hands to fight her, but I was just protecting myself, and I remember she just knocked the fuck out of exactly, right? But I'm wondering, like, do you have a perspective on, like, disciplining children or in a certain way? Have you thought about it?
Man, you know, this is actually dicey. I feel like it's really, really dicey because for me, beating, I'm not totally against beating. Like, it depends on how you do the beating.
Yeah.
Because, man, sometimes kids will
leave a mark.
Yes. These kids will push you to the wall.
I believe it,
there
though.
are some kids,
I believe you.
I feel like the thing is that as parent, like, if you're a parent, I feel you should know how your child functions. Some kids, you know this thing they call gentle parenting.
Yes, I know.
Like,
That's
like
the
someone
thing.
like
I don't think it's real.
It's not real.
I don't think it's real.
It's like what you're trying to say is just indulging that. See, children don't. I feel like sometimes you're not supposed to give them choices or options.
That's exactly
You
what my
don't
aunt
give
would say.
the child
She was like,
options.
this is what she would say. Children are meant to be seen, not heard. Like, that's what her
Yes.
perspective was. It's like,
Even coming from the biblical point of view,
Yeah.
train up a child with because some people be like, children, they also have feelings, yes, but then again, you don't give them choices. Like, okay, it's like coming to a child and be like, do you want which healthy meal, vegetables or ice cream?
right.
What would the child say?
Of course, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
They'll literally go for the easy ones, like the ones that they feel like is going to be okay for them. Like, they wouldn't want something that. So gentle parenting, it depends on the child, because there are some kids that are gentle parenting doesn't work.
Yeah, I think also it has a lot to do with the kind of parents you are. Like I was never beaten. I have two older siblings. I don't think they were beaten too. My older sister, she's 8 years older than me. She's like, I was. No. And then I think my parents, they're good, like role models. They don't do things that we can pick up and then get us in
Maybe
trouble.
you guys are just good kids as well.
Yeah, maybe you
No,
just.
I don't think-
Yeah, they have like,
so, 'cause
I feel
like,
so that sometimes,
I-
have you ever seen the situation that like, you're trying your best for this child, but this child has decided
But-
from friends, maybe influence from friends.
From friends
I
or just
think
personality.
also it has a lot
Yes.
to do with, I think modern parents that live in big cities, it's hard for them to parent their kids.
Don't be a parent then.
Seriously, for example,
Don't be a parent then.
for example, in Shanghai, like you live in a small apartment, you
Yeah.
have one child.
Yeah.
Both are working parents. They're stressed out and they don't have a lot of time to spend with their kids. Like, I think a lot of problems went wrong between the relationship. It caused problems to the kids. Like we were raised on the farm. It's all happy. Like you do a lot of work together. You have a lot of bond together. And my parents had no stress. And then we work together, we grow things together, and then we work as a team. Like you garden, you farm, you harvest.
So you're seeing your parents.
And you saw that, and then you see your parents work hard, and then you're like, I gotta help.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you
I feel
gotta
like Chinese
help.
parents right now they start becoming parents when they are grandparents. So you literally see most of the
I
parents.
think you're so right.
They
And
are-
also
they are
agree
raised
with
by-
what you're
yeah,
saying.
they are raised by
by
their
grandparents. Yeah.
So by the time those kids now get older, you see the parents now want to start creating the bond, and then these kids. So, like someone told me, she's a boss. She said, that's why like most of the kids they're threatening their parents with suicide, because they know that like they're the only, like I'm an only child. So if you just probably shout on them, like do something to them, they're already showing you like
Right.
they are saying things.
Yeah.
So those you see, and some of the times, or let me say, okay, from what she said, most of the times from the rich family, like those rich kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like it's like the parents are now scared of their kids.
Yeah.
You try to like. Which indulging the child so that she doesn't like do something that you don't want the child.
Right.
I said it's because if you want to commit suicide, go.
The parent-child.
Oh my God.
Commit suicide, but they don't know. Anytime they say the parents are now.
Like the
I know
parent-child
what you're saying, but I know
relationship.
someone who
parent-
a child who actually did
Yeah,
it.
the
I'm telling you,
parent-child
like,
relationship has already had problems. And when you have problems, you cannot do that.
Okay, so
You cannot
there's
do
a
that.
recent, like I think this year, a child committed suicide. She jumped, like a student. Why did she jump? Because the teacher took her phone from her.
That's wild.
That's the trigger.
She
But
jumped,
that's
and
definitely
then
something deeper than
the
that.
dad, I think they said the dad heard it and also committed suicide.
Yeah.
Wow, god
That's
damn.
sad.
Yeah.
But that's,
So, okay, I
there's
understand your point
definitely
of view,
something
like,
deeper.
Yeah, like
There's-
the teenager, like they actually do have a lot of trauma.
There's
They have a lot, like
and
you
there's
see,
a
that's why
pressure
sometimes
here.
they seek like validation. They want to be like they seek this
Yeah,
validation
yeah,
because they also, especially the smart ones, for example, they want to work so hard in school to prove to their parents,
Yeah.
you know, I'm
It's a
doing
lot of
something.
pressure.
You
It's a
know,
lot of pressure.
I've worked with students, okay, that have very good relationship with their parents. And then you talk to the parents and you see, oh, I understand why you have good relationship with the parents. Then you have worked with students that have terrible relationships with their parents, and you talk to the parents, oh, I see the problem. So
I understand now.
it's a very deep,
it's true.
complicated
It's
relationship.
Yeah.
Usually when the parent-child relationship is terrible, all kinds of problems pop up.
And that's why I always say that it starts from when the child is like.
So
young,
it's not just
young.
about beating or not beating. It's not that simple. It's not that simple.
That's why I say like every
Yeah.
parent should. Well, the problem is that most parents are even dysfunctional.
Right.
Yeah.
See, they are
Like there's
not-
already a
yeah.
problem from the
Right.
from
They
the
haven't
parents.
done what they need to do.
Do,
Become
and then they are
parents.
now parents.
And now they're
Right.
parents.
They
Like
have
someone
their
that has
own
like
That's what happened with my parents.
a
And
childhood
also
trauma,
sometimes-
and then she becomes like
you know,
it's
the
just a
thing is
lot.
like we never grew up with parents that beat us. And my nephew, my sister-in-law probably is gonna watch this. My nephew was beaten by her, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, my nephew was the best kid I have ever seen.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve this. So it's her anger issue.
That she needs to deal with.
It's her anger issue. It's like sometimes parents take it out on their
Yeah.
kids.
I see what you're saying, but
It's true.
so it's like it's all a gradient. We can't say yes or no because one, it's beyond profession, but also like some kids are really like acting up and then whatever, and then some kids are really nice, but it's a parent issue, so it's hard to know. But I think this is the one thing where it's like, I think my aunt really, when I got older, she tried to explain why she was so rough. She felt it was very important for me to experience or know fear because I was too arrogant and too entitled, feeling like, oh, whatever. And she wanted me to understand, to like, we argued a lot, or she would use fear or whatever to try to get me to understand my place in this home, so that in the world, her greatest fear was that I would go and act like I was whatever and then die by someone else. That I would talk my way into getting shot or whatever. That's a huge fear in the States as a black, if you have a black son or a daughter and you're a woman, you want to make sure this person is trained so that when they enter the world, they don't go and talk.
You not think like, oh, because the way you talk to her, you not see the police officer like,
Exactly. And then I'm dead. That was her fear. So once she made me understand that, then I understood. But like her whole thing was like to instill fear with me, and I was fearless, so I would whatever. So everyone's different. So maybe I was that person, so they resorted to physical abuse, but maybe they didn't have to because they weren't. You know, that's I don't know. You know?
I think I remember one time. This was when I was in high school. So my parents actually raised 3 kids, and then they sent all of us to college, and then they were working on the farm. So it's really difficult. It's hard financially, especially we had some financial issues caused by other people.
Right.
So my parents are always hardworking. The kind of people that very accountable. My parents. And then when I was in high school, my father had to sell a bigger house to build a smaller house, so that we could have some money. And then, so he was building the house at that time. You have to build your own house. He was building the house. He hired like a team, but you still have to work there. And then that was when I was in the first year of high school. I think I came back home, and he was working there, and he just very hard. And he just asked me, so I had a major exam. He was like, "What's your ranking?" And I said number 17, and this is out of 80 people. And he just sighed. He said nothing, and that broke my heart. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna work my ass off just because my father was working so hard, and he said nothing. He just sighed, and so I realized that wasn't good enough. But they basically don't normally say that you have to achieve this and this, that. And then, so that's, and I still remember then, So
you still
I think
remember that moment. Yeah,
still
especially-
remember, and then so sometimes beating is not the best way.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
that's why I
motivate.
say like it depends, like because
It really has a lot to do with the kind of people you are as parents.
that's what I'm
Even
saying.
if-
Like parents,
even
if you already have a trauma, like if you have the trauma already and you've not healed, I don't think you should bring in another child into
You're
the
so
world.
right. I think it's a trauma thing.
But the thing is that some people don't even agree that they have like, you know, maybe issues or problems, or like they have something that is maybe if I come to you and tell you, do you know that you have anger issues? You literally be like, no, I don't have. You need to see a therapist.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm not mad. Like, especially if they see therapists as like, if someone says go see a therapist, they'll think that you're mental, like you're already mad.
Yeah,
It's like saying go to the rehab.
Yeah, I agree with
That
you.
kind
I
of
think
thing.
some people are not fit to be parents.
Some people are not supposed to be parents, but then again, I feel like it comes from like, oh, you know, you get older in life, you get to a point, you get married, and then you have kids.
Yeah.
It's
I feel
not.
like that's
It's
how-
not a path for everybody.
I feel like that's
Agree.
how
I
people
totally
like.
agree.
This is the normal thing. This is how life is.
Yeah.
You get old,
Yeah.
you get boy meets girl, fall in love,
Yeah.
then we get married, start having kids. They don't know that parenting. The same way, even relationship is hard work. It's not like moving to, like apart from the parenting side, relationship is hard work. It's like two people that don't know each other. And like you guys just met, had some butterflies in your tummy, and then so imagine dealing with that person's weaknesses. And then you also have your own weaknesses. Like we're all not perfect human beings, right?
Exactly.
So imagine that kind of scenario. And then now bringing a child into the world.
Yeah. You guys
so
gotta
I feel
get
like people,
yourself
you see people that like people they are already fighting each other, and then they also
have
have the
children.
guts to bring in children. So imagine children that also grew up in abusive homes, like they see their dad beating their mom. So now they now think it's okay as a guy to beat a woman.
Yeah, exactly. That's a problem.
I think some people are
That happens
naturally
a lot.
good parents. Some people are not meant to be
Sometimes I feel like
parents.
naturally good parents, I don't know if it's we are intentional. Everything is about intentionality. You have to be intentional. Okay, this is what I want, and you start working towards it. If you want good grades, you can't just be like, haha, every day you're just
And
watching
also,
the TV.
the two parents need to be on the
That's
same
the
page.
thing. The problem is
when
from
it comes to parenting style.
The same thing.
so.
Obviously, you guys might have different views on
Yeah.
parenting, but these are the things you obviously have to discuss about. Like, if you believe in beating, okay, is it if you beat, I console? Or maybe when we grew up, as my dad is beating you, my mom is also. She'll be like, I have to support my husband. Is it like you guys also have to have these discussions so that it's not like you're.
We've had the discussions, and I'm conflicted. But I know that for me and my wife, she would definitely be on the model of using words and using logic and whatnot. And I like the idea of that, but I don't know how practical it is because I don't know who this person is. Maybe they're really like an asshole and they need to be like whooped, not like hit in the face.
There's
but
obviously
a
there's
whooping.
like spanking.
Yeah,
It depends.
right.
That's why I say it depends also the type of beating. Like you can't be hitting your kids.
You can't hit your
like,
head on the
with stick,
face or whatever.
those
That's
ones,
what I'm
so-
saying. I'm saying like just a spanking on the bottom. That's very
Yeah.
traditional. Like,
not like hitting your child with no.
Yeah.
I
know. My wife doesn't
cats.
agree either. My wife doesn't agree either. She thinks that there's always a way, and I'm trying to get there. I'm actually quite conflicted, but I'm consulting people, right? And I'm just thinking about it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What I know is
Normally speaking, I think girls are easier,
yeah.
especially in this culture.
I feel so. I was literally even telling my friend yesterday, I was like, I feel girls. And he was like, no, he thinks that girls are manipulative more than I said, the guys. Oh, any boy, like if you're a mom of boys or something, I feel
But I think having
they suffer.
having
Guys can be so much. Like raising a boy child, I feel like you need special type of like. That's why anybody that is a single mom and you have like you're raising
a kid, he's got a lot of energy.
That's another thing.
It's
that
hard.
like
It's hard.
because women tend to be more like nurturing, and then they always, especially for their. That's why it's like the girls are closer to their dads. And the guys are closer to their mom.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes they always mommy's boy. You hardly hear people say daddy's boy.
Yeah.
It's always mommy's boy because sometimes those women they see their spouse in their child.
Yeah.
So the tendencies of them being soft on that child and then maybe from there the child now goes astray. So the things that they are supposed to correct, they will just give excuses. That's why they now make more emphasis on raising, like it was more on raising women, you know, being hard on the women, like when it comes to raising a girl child. Right now, they are making more emphasis. Like, you know, back I'm like, it's not like a guy is not supposed to cook. Cooking is for the woman.
Still.
Like, you know, but right now they are trying to make the awareness. Cooking is a surviving skill.
Right.
It's not a gender-based.
It's not a gender skill.
It's not. Like, So if you live alone, like, let me say you're living alone.
Yeah.
You're not going to cook.
Yeah, exactly. What are you gonna do?
So it's. Like it's supposed to, and that's why someone said like most men have what's it called, hygiene issues.
Yeah.
They're smelling. Why? Because they feel like, you know, as a guy, you just need to make money.
You don't need to clean yourself.
You don't need to clean yourself
up. Similarities between Chinese and Nigerian culture.
You don't need to just make money. Like if you make money, and then I'm even shocked at the women. How can someone that have mouth odor be talking to you, and you are planning to, you're even like, no, brush your teeth, shower. Some guys, they don't, like, it's so funny. So I feel like they excuse the boy child a lot. So they now, and most times they feel entitled. The woman is supposed to do this, and that's why sometimes the men are not really involved when it comes to raising the child.
Because they haven't been trained.
So they make money. The provider, so all their responsibility, like their ego, respect, they feel like it comes from the amount I bring to the family. So that's why I feel like, nope, we work.
That's right.
And we raise the kids.
That's right.
Because I didn't get myself pregnant.
It was a group. It was a group.
Yeah, it has to be a group thing. Whether you are you're the sole provider, whatever. No, this child, we had an agreement. So whatever effort I put into raising this child, you also have to put the same effort. Like, otherwise they'll keep on raising like dysfunctional kids. They'll always think that the mom is the best. And you check it, that's why they have like 10 Mother's Day in a year. Like in Nigeria, at least church they do Mother's Day, International Women's Day, the other church, every time Mother's Day, Nigerian Women's Day. You hardly hear Father's Day, like maybe once in a year. And even that once in a year, you see some women coming out to say, I wish myself Happy Father's Day.
That's right.
Like women on the Father's Day, men will be like, just one day that they give to us. One day you pass it, and then you see women even call themselves, I'm a king. King.
That's true.
Because they feel like I raised my kids by myself, so I'm also
of course.
So that's the thing. Like I don't want a situation my child is just seeing me as my mom. Please, your father as well. You have to also call your dad. Agree. Otherwise. So, any other questions?
I mean, obviously there's more to talk about. I feel a little weird having asked more about at the end part about child rearing, because there's more to but we talked about a lot of different stuff, right?
She's fun. I can talk to her for 5-6 hours.
I can talk to you forever. I'm just right now, I feel like it's so easy to talk to. Not only that, but also enjoy seeing you talk. like you're very expressive, so I just love I love it.
So funny. Because every time we do our hair, she does my hair, it takes about 5 hours. And
it's not boring.
That's what happens. It's so much fun having her around. And also, I just feel that. How old are you?
27.
27.
Wow.
And you've been in China for
4 years.
4 years. She came when she's 23, and I've known you for at least 2-3 years. Right?
Yeah.
2-3 years.
Almost.
And then, she's just always this strong, independent woman.
I feel like I'm not independent. You know, like sometimes they say
you're not.
You know, the independent. Let me tell you.
I know
from a woman's point of view, I feel like independent. You know how women like them say, "I'm an independent woman."
Yeah.
You're supposed to take care of yourself.
Right.
As an adult. You're an adult.
Right.
Just because you paid your house rent, you're now independent. So sometimes I don't like the word, because you don't hear men like Adam saying, I'm an independent.
I'm an independent man.
So sometimes I just cringe. It's cringe because I feel like Nope.
Yeah,
You're an adult. You're supposed to fend for yourself, male or female. Like, so there's nothing independent about it.
I like your response.
It's just like, I know I'm just more, I feel like I'm more resilient. Like, I push.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would just say. Like, I just
resilient.
like,
Yeah, there's a strong resilience.
Yeah, I
That's
just
what I
have
empathize
the,
with,
like,
for
I
sure.
just push,
Yeah, she
push,
talks
push.
to her family a lot, like
So-
like all
You
the
close
time.
to them, right? You
Yes.
All the time.
I can
All
tell.
the time.
That's great.
I think that's a good source of strength.
Yeah, I talked to, like,
Yeah.
obviously, and also when we grew up, we shared a lot of, like, you know, from the trying to outsmart our parents, you know, so
yeah.
all those kind of stuff, like, created those bonds as,
Nice.
like, kids till, like, we got older and, you know, everybody started, like,
Your husband's here with you, right?
no, not yet.
Really?
He's going to come maybe October.
October? For the first time?
Mm.
Oh. Do you think... Wait, okay, so this is kind of future. It's like, are you guys trying... Is he trying to move here? Are you trying to move back? What's up? Not sure yet.
We're trying to move to another country.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because, okay,
Sorry, if you don't want to talk about it
no,
here,
no,
it's
no,
fine, it's fine.
no. Like I wanted to invite him, but then again, I don't know how the visa policies.
Yeah, I know, it's not easy.
Yeah, so I think someone said they'll just give him like 3 months. So I was like, no, it doesn't make sense. I have actually done like long distance relationship. I don't feel the need to do a long distance marriage again. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't feel
yeah,
the
no.
need.
I
Like,
would,
it
yeah.
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
So-
make sense.
And because before I came back, if like I confirmed, like I didn't get the right information when it came to the visa, like whatever policy, I could have actually stayed back. I could have just stayed back and then we now plan to move to where we wanted to move to.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like, but someone they said they can give 6 months, so maybe 6 months he can come. Yeah.
Okay. You should still filling it out, yeah.
Yeah, because man, long distance marriage.
That would, yeah, I don't think.
In as much as obviously we are used to, like,
You're used to it,
it's
but
not
also
bad
you've
to
known
compare
each other for a
a
while
long
before
time.
then.
Yes. Because I know there's this.
It could be it should be only temporary.
Temporary, of course, of
That's why I
course.
said, like, I made up my mind, if it doesn't come December, I'll go home.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just, like, you know, arrange my stuff, pack up my stuff, prepare myself, and then I go home, like, November,
Because
December.
yeah, he wouldn't want to work here, right?
How would it even work? There's not, you know how it is, you invite your spouse, and then that's the problem. I also think, what is he going to do? Like, and you know, as a Nigerian man, they're used to working. So he can't come here, he has something he's doing back home, and then he comes here, he's not doing anything.
Right,
Like,
yeah, no, there's no way he's got no
he's
purpose.
not even
He's
going
got
to
to have
find
the
it.
wrong, you know.
Yeah, he's not even going to find it funny.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but then again, maybe like that's why I say 6 months is fine. And obviously, like my visa, I just have 1 year. Like my visa will be like done. I'll be done with school.
Yeah,
so just 6
You'll
months.
see, you'll see.
If he comes there like in November, if he eventually works out and he comes there in November, like we have November like till the next of April. It's okay. I can even like maybe finish all my courses.
That's right, that's
like,
right,
you know,
that's right.
finish everything and then we can
That's
just go back. Hopefully
That's
the
great,
other country.
okay.
will
Oh, right,
work
right,
out.
to wait, yeah.
You can work out.
Yeah, hope it's.
I could have come to the UK, but London is an
Yeah.
extended version of
Oh
Nigeria.
my God, it is
Like-
so expensive there. That's
Actually,
one
I think it's pretty much the same as Shanghai.
I don't think so.
No, I mean you can say the
I feel
amount of
like
money
you have more
make
bills
with
to
the
pay.
mo-
The cost of living is is lower here.
China is. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
But people make around the same money,
but
but, you can save more.
But that's Shanghai.
You can save more
You can
here.
save more here.
Yeah,
You can
that's
save
except for
more.
except for housing market. Housing market is higher on average
Depending,
in China. Or
depending
but in
on
China.
where you want
That's
to
true.
live
That's
as
true.
well.
That's true.
Because if you move further in town,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
true.
get
That's true. That's
a
true.
very
That's
good
true.
apartment
That's
for
true.
like. So it depends on where you want.
That's
I feel
very
like
true.
China is really cool when it comes to cost of living.
That's right. It's
Like
very
I
low.
imagine myself like moving from China, moving to America. Like I can imagine how it would be for me. Like you know, the bills. It's like you're working and you have to pay bills. But here, like even your gas is like maybe like 30 RMB, 20 RMB. Your AC, like depending on how you use it, winter 180 RMB for someone like me, like 180 maximum 200.
The cost of living here is
It's
without
really
a doubt.
okay.
Like,
I feel like anybody that like as a foreigner,
it's
you're
just
supposed
reasonable.
to save money.
It is, yeah, it's
make a lot
fair.
of
So,
money.
yeah, I think it's reasonable. In the States, like, I agree. I mean, I was telling him, I was like, if I go I would just purchase property there to make money off the property, because you can make money off of property there easier than in China, at least here. Because if we buy a second house, you have to pay like 50% down payment for a second house. If it's first payment, it's 30. In the States, if you want to buy a house, you only have to, the lowest, if it's your first house, is 3%. Or usually you want to do 5%, but obviously a bet range is 15 to 20 or so. But like you can purchase a house and own it and get a mortgage, which is like way better. Right now, obviously the interest rates are really high, but it's just, besides that, everything else in the States is just on average more expensive. On average, it's for no reason.
Yeah, it's
For
like
no reason.
It's like the taxes.
The taxes,
Lord.
just like
So you have to be a
the
very
utilities.
frugal person.
Yeah.
Like if you move to London, you have to be really like you have to be like maybe take your calculator every day.
That's the problem. That's why
You have to
people
be
are upset right in the States. Because
and that's why I feel like any like Americans, people from the UK, Canada, Australia, if you come to China, you are supposed to be wealthy.
That's the stereotype.
What I feel.
That's the stereotype.
But the problem is that they come because you know how expensive things are. You come here and be like, oh, it's so cheap. It's way cheaper, and then you're just blowing up
You get
money.
lost.
A lot of people do.
You're blowing up. You get lost. You start blowing up money because I know. Like
I have this problem when it comes to ordering cars. I will order a car anyway, but I should take the subway.
Gosh, you see?
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like so, coming from like
I have this problem,
Nigeria,
for sure.
like obviously our currency is lower than Chinese currency. So you check.
You got a plan.
I convert the money first. Like obviously it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I came here, I wanted to get this chocolate I saw, and then I'm like, for chocolate, this amount, like I thought I was paying in naira to like get this thing. So it was way more difficult for me to want to like just buy things. I always do the mental conversion,
I see.
like even taking the digits, like the metro. What happened to the metro? Like they have like really good transport system.
They do. I know it's a real problem. I'm very aware of my weakness.
If you check how much you spend on digits,
I know how much I spend because my wife made me do it.
So, but, and I feel like the other problem is that because you think it's relatively cheap, you wouldn't even know that these tiny things are actually the things that take money. You see, food,
for sure,
transport, like taxes. These ones they just take the money, but you don't even know. So you can even spend like 2K on taxes every on an average in a month, and then you probably eating out. You just go to this restaurant because the food is 200, or probably you're making like 20K, so little money. But these are the things that literally like take money. So by the time you're done, and then alcohol, if you now drink, oh god,
it's gonna make your decisions.
It's even worse. Like I feel like if you have a drinking, I wouldn't say drinking problem, but if you like to like drink. That's another thing that like maybe go to a bar, drink maybe like 120. These things, if you do it like literally all the time, money is going. So I feel like the problem people have is because it's so cheap here to compare to the States or like to
definitely have that problem.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because when I came here, I had like exchange program, like students that came from Australia. Oh god, they were like everything they are so cheap. So if I go out with them, I'm just like, what's cheap? Like they were spending.
You spend a lot.
I could go out, they would drink so much because they're like, it's so cheap, it's so cheap. So I feel like the cheap problem is the beginning of your problem.
It is the beginning of the problem, you're totally right.
So
without a doubt.
for anybody, I think if you're American, if I had an American passport, I think by now I should have like maybe 4 houses. I'm telling you the truth. There is no way. I will not like, sometimes I feel like people are just not using your passport very well.
That's probably right. If you tell me how to use it.
Using your passport. If like let me say like Nigerians, we are also considered like native speakers by Chinese people. You guys will not be seeing any opportunity because Nigerians they will do the work with their life. Sometimes I feel like because how like Chinese people like see Americans and all this, they worship them so much. So sometimes
it's weird,
at the workplace. They just need to do the barest minimum. Because they know that they will get paid very well. But Nigerians, they will take the money, right? They will take it further. They will take it further for you. So, like, if we were given the opportunities to, like, as a native speaker, I'm telling you, man. I'm just imagining the number of houses I could have owned right now in Nigeria. I could have been, like, a house owner. But then, it's fine.
I grind.
It's fine. It's fine. Because the problem is that, like, even if you want to get a job, you're Nigerian, they will stop talking to you. So, if you, like, if maybe you American like and then Black American, okay, it's fine because you have an American passport. But that passport, that Nigerian passport.
I feel like I'm definitely doing the best that I can.
You work in the school, right?
No. I have my own business here.
Okay,
yeah, and it's been growing really well actually. So I usually just use some of that money, put it in the market in the States because I can make more money in the market there, and then we'll eventually purchase a house there. And I could maybe in 2 years purchase another, but like the down payments are huge. But we're talking about.
How much is the down payment?
It's for the first house 30%, right? So if you're looking for, depending on the area, because it's all about schooling.
Here, you plan to buy houses here, or
back home?
No, back in the States, but here it's just the down payment that makes it an issue, right? And also depending on like where you're trying to locate, and also for me, it's almost like you have to think about the schooling, right? Because that's what's really important to me. That's a value that I have. Whereas in the States, it's like I already know if I'm trying to make money off a property, go to North Carolina, purchase a house. It's no more. What is it? It's $250,000 house. You put a 5%, 10% on that. You can have that. You can rent it out and pay off the mortgage and then make money on the mortgage because there's like college towns there, so you can get graduate students to come in or whatever. There's no problem. But it's like okay, make sure someone's there managing it, whatever. I have to do more research there. But if we're in LA, San Francisco, houses there on average 1.2, 1.3 million, right? Means down payment of 3% if it's your first house is a little bit more. We're talking about 60,000 or whatever. And it's doable. It's just that like, okay, well then are you going to be able to find someone to cover the mortgage there? No, interest rates are really high, highest than they've ever been right now for mortgages. Then, so you're not going to make money off of your property in those areas, but you can. But it's like, okay, then you go over there. Do you want to go to North Carolina? Or do you want to go to a place in LA or San Francisco? So it's like we're trying to feel like that. But here, it's like Shanghai is crazy. If I were to use the money here, yeah, I could have a couple houses in
how much
Nanchang.
like house in China or Shanghai?
Shanghai?
Oh well, it depends on the places. Like so, what in Yangpu or whatever. If you're talking about these sitter cities, the conversion I always mess up. But I know that you have to first house down payment of 30% means that they would be expecting I think 2 million because I think renminbi, 2 million renminbi because on average the house is there, but it depends on what you're looking for, right? Because we're looking for like three bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, like bedroom for the parents, us, and a child. So we're talking about anywhere between 6 to 7 is the total price million renminbi, not the USD, right? So if you're putting a down payment there, you're paying obviously a lot more. The mortgage is not too high or whatever. But if we go out farther, if I go to Nanchang where Sherry's from, yeah, I can buy a large house, a mansion. They already told me a long time ago. They told me a long time ago too. With you could buy a mansion in Nanchang. It's like, but I want to be in Nanchang. Like, it's like so that's where I am right now. And it's like, yeah, okay. And also, would I be able to make money off of that? Because I'm not always there. My work's not there. With someone, who would I rent it out to?
And also, like, what do you need a house for if you're not there? And also, if you buy in my village, you can have a palace.
It's
what's the point?
Yeah, it's a value thing, right? Because like the idea of owning property, right? You're saying Nigerians like, yeah, just own them, boom, boom, boom. But it's like, I guess, it depends where your values lie. Because yeah, that could happen. But if you want to own property, you can say that room. But it's like, okay, my thing is I want to own something that I can make money off of, and I don't know, and that I could use. But everyone's different. Right now, I'm just trying to get this business to work and to make more money, and then I can toy around with it. We can stop this. We can stop this.
Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna talk about secret money making
No,
plans.
just let's end the episode and then we can keep talking.
Okay, this episode is all about money.
All right.
That's all for today. Thank you.
You're gonna cut out that one.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right.
See you guys next
Peace.
time.
Bye.
Thank you.
They ain't do the outro.
Oh yeah. Guys, thank you for watching and listening. If you like our podcast, please like and subscribe. We do this every week. Also, we're a very small budget. I only have money for the coffee. Actually, Leah bought me the coffee. So if you can help us promote our show, that'd be great. Just send the link to the 10 groups you're foreseeing. It's all good. Thank you guys so much. See you next week. 谢谢 Bye. Ciao.